Hey everybody, James Arnold Taylor here in my home studio, and I'm loading a video and I'm killing some time, and I thought I'd make a video of my home studio because everybody's always asking me, well, what's your home studio like? You know, you got to do an updated tour of your home studio and all that. So that's what I'm going to do. I have my monitor over here and I'm checking to make sure I'm in focus because I'm using my big fancy 5D Mark III camera here to shoot this. So you can get a nice clean video of it all. And so let's take a tour of JAT's home studio. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so this is my desk right here, and you can see it's kind of my control center. And I'm gonna hit the button here. Watch, you can see it's a Argosy sit stand desk. So that means I can make it sit or stand. And I love that because a lot of times I stand when I record things. Now I'll put it back down. How cool is that? So some of my gear, I've got a universal audio preamp there that you can see. And underneath that is my Apogee Ensemble Thunderbolt. And I use those to, of course, record everything, you know. That preamp is the main preamp that I use for pretty much everything that I record here in the studio. It's got a compressor on it, it's got an EQ on it. I rarely use the compressor or the EQ because generally speaking, I record everything flat and then I send it to you know, the places that I record with flat, although sometimes I'll put sweetening on it and stuff, but I usually do that after the fact in Pro Tools. So that's on that side of the rack. Then if we pan up, you can see my monitors. These are the Atom A7s. Everybody is always asking me what monitors I use. I love these Atom A7s. They've got a real good sound to them. They're very cool for the studio. And so I've had those for quite a while. Although this particular one right there, the right side, I think one of my tweeters is getting a little fried. I must have been mixing too loud. Oh, now this is an interesting little piece. This is from PreSonus, and it is a fader port, and what it does is it only has one channel there, but you can assign it to any channel in your Pro Tools, and it allows you then to do automation and such for that, and it gives me the ability to take this into the booth, and then I can hit record and stop and punch in and undo, and I can control my Pro Tools with this controller, and it's hardwired and it goes right in. They do make ones that are iPad controlled, and I use some of those sometimes, but I don't love those as much as I like to actually have a real hardwired device there. Another thing everybody's always asked me about is my monitors here. You can see I'm loading the Princess Leia interview that I did. So those are Dell monitors. They're like 27-inch, I believe. And they just are, one's up high on an arm, and then the other one is on a table mount that actually allows me to put it at a slant like that. So you can tell that the screens are slanted. Let me see if I can get another angle for you. So you can see the angle there. See, the one is just on an arm in the back, and then the one on the desk itself is just at an angle. I like it like that because it allows me when I'm mixing and such, and I get get into Pro Tools and all of my different programs, I'm able to have my mixer down lower and my editing window down lower, or the mixer up higher and the editing down lower, or vice versa. When I edit in Adobe Premiere, I like to have my screen of everything I'm cutting up on the top screen, and then my editing bay on the lower screen. So that's how I like to do it. Okay, so you can see that when I'm in Pro Tools, that's how I would edit. So here I've got all my edits where I can make my edits, and up here I keep my mixer and my plugins and everything, and I like this kind of angled here, and I'm right here, I'm working, and it just makes it a lot easier for that kind of work for me. Over here we've got really just one thing, and that is my ISDN box. What is an ISDN box? That is what I use when I am doing my voiceover for Fox and other commercial work and such, so I can patch into any studio anywhere in the world, and sounds like I'm right there with them. Now there's a lot of new things that you can use that are software based and internet based that like IPDTL, which I use quite a bit, and also Source Connect, and I have both of those, and I can use both of those, either of those. I prefer IPDTL. I think it's a brilliant program and so user-friendly and simple to use, but ISDN is still kind of tried and true, and it's the one way that most of the networks still do it, because they have a lot of security issues with their firewalls and their internet and such. And so this ISDN box is what they call a Telos Zephyr, and it is still analog. So those, it takes a lot. You have to have the proper phone lines, and those are actually going away because most phone lines are digital now. So it took quite a bit for me to get that installed into the house and to have those phone lines here, because they had to find the old analog phone lines and patch them into the house and everything. It used to be really easy, now not so easy to find anymore. So that is the ISDN box, and so Fox and all of the promos I do are still done on that. And of course, right next to it is my Obi-Wan bobblehead. Got the Ratchet and Clank, and I've got some artwork from Meadowlark Imageworks. My friends there, Cassidy and John. And Cassidy just does an amazing job with her art, so check them out. So this Obi-Wan Kenobi, see in focus? Get him in focus. This Obi-Wan Kenobi stand-up is from Star Wars Weekends. I'm going to turn on the lightsaber. Look at that. The lightsaber was not actually originally on that. I put it on. It's one of these. It's an Ultra Saber. Ultra Sabers are the ones that I would use in my stage show. And so it's an Ultra Saber, and I just screwed it onto the back of this. This was left over from Star Wars Weekends. The last year they gave this to me, and that's how I kind of knew. It was one of the signs I knew that Star Wars Weekends must be on the way out, because they didn't need the Obi-Wan stand-up anymore sitting outside the Premiere Theater. So this is a great, it was very nice of them to send it to me and give it to me, so I got my own Obi-Wan Kenobi there. But that's the story behind that. Now these lights that you see, I've got one there, and I've got another one there. I've got one over here. It's on, so I don't want to necessarily put it, yeah, so you can see it's on right there. These I set up for when I do my videos to make it easier to get some light. I've done videos about those lights and stuff, but they're nice and simple. They're battery operated, or you can plug them into the wall, and it just makes it nice and easy for doing stuff like that. Up there, there's my my Wi-Fi box up there. You can see, and see, these ceiling tiles are Whisper Waves. And they're really cool. I like all of those quite a bit. See how I have them hanging? They're kind of free floating from the ceiling there. I did that actually with paper clips and little ties. And then the wall panels are from Audimute, and they're really pretty cool. And I love their stuff because it's all very eco-friendly. It's made out of recycled cotton and such, and they're really nice looking, and they're great. They've got some great. You can see the patterns to them. Zoom in. You can see they've got a nice kind of wheat kind of look to them and a little design on them. And so I have those there, and I like that quite a bit. Okay, so down here, that's my LaCie hard drive. That is a 12 terabyte hard drive, and there's various drives in it. And that is what holds pretty much everything I do in the studio. I have other backup drives, which I'll show you, but that's my main drive that is always running for me, and so that's how I record everything and keep everything, and all my music libraries and my sound effects libraries and everything. There's a trash can, and then there's my Mac trash can. So what I run everything on, that's my computer. I'm a Mac person all the way, and so that is now it's a dinosaur because it's like 3 or 4 years old. It's crazy. It's like every couple of years you got to get new computers. I don't know why Apple does that, but I wish they wouldn't. Okay, next to it, I've got my Avalon preamp, and that is a dual channel preamp, which is great. The thing I love about that is when you're doing things with 2 microphones. So when I would do Clone Wars Conversations, I would plug my mics into that preamp there, which makes it nice and easy and very cool. And you can see underneath it, there's some more. Those are both 12 terabyte hard drive backups. So those are the backups. Above it are some Blackmagic items. The switcher box, the ATM Production Studio 4K is a switch box. So when we were doing live productions, if I do stuff live, or when we do Clone Wars Conversations and stuff, I could switch live. And just above the preamp, the Avalon preamp, that little box from Blackmagic, that is a recorder that allows me to record straight into SD cards from the switch box, so you can do something live and then have a live backup of all the switched things. What do I mean by switched? I mean, if you have 4 cameras rolling, then you can have, you're switching between camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, camera 4, and it records it all live. And so that's what that box is up there for. So, okay, and then what do I got over here? Some more hard drives, because you can never back up things enough. And that's the R16 by Zoom. And I use that whenever I do any interviews and such. Portable stuff, I can take it with me. That's also how I've recorded all the sound for Clone Wars Conversations, the Princess Leia interviews, everything else. I always use that device there because it's easy. There's 8 channels of audio in, so you can do 8 mic inputs into that at one time and record all 8, which is pretty fantastic. So I use that. If I'm recording directly into the studio here for shows and stuff, I don't usually use that. I'll usually use my Pro Tools and just go directly into Pro Tools here with the mics. But anyway, so when I do stuff, bigger interviews, that's what I use. So really not a ton of equipment here. Let's see, let me show you microphone wise. This is where I do my podcasting, and the podcasts are coming up soon. That is my Aston microphone. I have a couple of those Aston Origin mics. I love those. I use them on Clone Wars Conversations. You see them at the end of the show when we do our pieces. And I love the Aston microphone. There's a test I did and an unboxing of the Aston microphone that you can find on my channel. You can see that. Okay, this is my my microphone drawer. Got various different microphones in here. What's in here? These are lav mics. So if I need to do the things for Clone Wars Conversations and stuff, they're little lav mics, and these are the little preamps that run those. I keep those in there. There's a 416, which I'm not a huge fan of the 416. I've talked about that many times on the show. This is a Neumann TLM 103. This is a Studio Projects C1. I have many other microphones, but these are the ones I kind of keep on the ready. Okay, so this is my voiceover booth, and you can see it all there. Make sure it's in focus. So that's my booth. It's about 5.5 by 4.5. It's not perfect because you don't necessarily want things to be so square, but I had no choice. That's the booth I had here. That was the option I had in this room. This room is also not the perfect option because it is almost a complete square in the room. It's like 11 by 12, and you don't really want to do that for sound, but I've had to do what I've had to do. So inside the booth, if we look inside, we get another little view here. The microphone I'm using is a Gefell microphone. So it's a Gefell mic. You'll see me doing my promos and stuff for Fox on that. Love the Gefell microphone. It is my favorite microphone. It's the one that my voice sounds the best on. I use an iPad, you can see right next to it, and that's how I record everything. And I got my headphones there. Got my Aphex headphone amp and multi-channel amp, but I really only need one channel for in the booth, and that's what I use there. If you watch some of my videos, you see that's the view. That's the view from the booth, looking out of my booth and into the studio. Really pretty basic setup here at JAT Studios. And so I can do ADR and such in the main room here. And the booth is used for more of that up close and personal kind of audio that I do on a regular basis. I don't know if there's really anything else I can show you or tell you about the studio. So this is JAT Studios. Boy, I shouldn't be wearing my Batman shirt, should I? Now I've given it away, my secret identity. Anyways, no, this is my studio. Welcome to it. I'm glad you like it. I hope you like it. I thank you for taking the tour with me. And I hope you subscribe to the channel too. There's lots of great stuff here on the JAT channel. And I really appreciate everybody taking their time to come out and check out all the various things on the channel and see what's in store to come. There's lots to come, and I'm always putting out videos, but just wanted to give you the little tour of my home studio and what type of equipment I use and what's in there. So I hope it's been insightful and interesting for you, and I hope you have a good one.